everyone from Belladonna and Weeps. Yes, we're just sitting here today, and I was saying to Weeps, I said Weeps, and she said yes. I said, Weeps, darling, what we should do is share more music with the people. We're both very big music fans, and some people may know the music we like, some people may not. I think we should be able to share. So, Weepsy told me that I should share our most favoritist first. So that is what I'm going to do today. You see, there's a certain irony to this particular band's name as to why it is my and Weeps' favorites. We have, shall not get in glare, Skinny Puppy. Now, Skinny Puppy has been around for some time. Now, there are many people who, I'd say you either really love it or you really don't. It's industrial music, gothic music, electronic music, could be even sometimes techno music. It's hard to classify. I always like to say avant-garde industrial. Noise, stream of consciousness lyrics, bizarreness, and the stage show, good God, amazing beyond belief. Now these boys were inspirations for many of the bands we know and love today, or at least knew and loved at some time. Speak of, say, Nine Inch Nails, very inspirational to them. I suppose I can say the name Marilyn Manson. Never was a fan myself. But much of his stage presence, different style was, I would say, borrowed from the boys of Skinny Puppy. Pioneers in their own right, those who have never really sought major commercial success, but really sought to make the music they wanted. A long career, I believe, joining up in the late 70s, coming onto the scene in the 80s, and through some ups and downs, still going in their own right today. So we'll talk a little about them. Now, this particular album is their first official release, an LP of sorts, I believe. Not their very first release. They're finding their initial first release is near impossible. But this is the early days of Skinny Puppy. This album is called Remission. This is in many ways one of my ultimate favorites. One of the things they were very known for was movie and film samples. Before it was a very popular thing to do, and I don't know if it was even properly legal to do at the time, but they're Canadian, so I suppose it's all right. So this one is known for the introduction, I should say, not induction, of the band as a horror base. They were very and are very big fans of horror films. So a lot of these samples came from films like The Tenant, The Haunting of, is it Hill House, Hell House? One of those houses where bad things happen. Oh God, I don't even, you know how it is when you blank. I think, oh yes, one of my favorites from Andy Warhol's Dracula.
You cannot have me, fool!
Fools, I'm not
one of you!
Good stuff. So this is a wonderful album. The songs are very accessible, very danceable and wonderful. I will provide some links for everyone to go and explore them for yourself. You know, I'd love to play it for you. I'd love to play your DJ, but copyrights and such. But this is the beginning. I only have a certain amount of albums. We'll talk as much as we can about it. The beginning of Skinny Puppy officially. So Remission. This is one of the, I believe, Pompeii skeletons frozen into place after the volcanic eruptions long, long ago. So that is for starters. Now we move on to another album that came out after the fact, much more going on here. This particular one is called Bites. Get the glare off of there. So Bites is an awesome freaking album. This is where you get things become more, I don't know, complicated. These are things that you could still very well hear in dance clubs, and everybody would get up to dance for it. Then and now, I would say. The very popular song Assimilate. Probably really, it actually starts off the album. Yes, it is the first song. That song will get any room going. You don't even have to be a fan to appreciate the awesomeness of that sound. There's so much movement going on there. Intensity, the depth of his Nivigoga, that's the front man, Nivigoga's heavy, distorted voice. The stream of consciousness lyrics, and you're sort of like, did I just hear that? Did I hear the right thing? What did he just say? What the hell did he just say? They actually kind of go with the David Lynch way of thinking that you're sort of left to make up your own mind of what you're even hearing. Just like Lynch makes you, make up your own mind for what you're seeing. So this has some wonderful songs on it. And there are even some hidden tracks here and there, especially on CDs, I know that for sure. Tracks that are not listed. it's interesting because you get this wonderful, intense, danceable, dark stuff. Then you get these really somber, really slow, almost haunting melodies. And if you find one of the hidden tracks, one of the more beautiful songs ever made by industrial, if you will, musicians, Mr. Kevin Key was doing some amazing work back then. Kevin Key is the essentially main member, I believe, of the band. He's the one who first started, if I'm not correct. On that, if I'm not correct, sir, I apologize. Please don't come and find me unless it's to say hello for tea. But at this point, we are seeing Skinny Puppy becoming more of a thing. Now, as I said, I only have a handful of the record albums. These are all originals too. These are not remakes that I bought for tons and tons of money. I paid very little for these, a few dollars, finding them in crates at some used store. Oh yes, this one I might need to position my fingers over. I'm not sure. We're going to do that just in case. Alright, you can probably imagine why I'm doing that with my fingers. Censorship of the sorts. So we have Mind the Perpetual Intercourse, and here we have entering one Dwayne R. Gotel, D.R. Gotel. And this particular person is when they came to be in their own. Now, before he joined, there was a member of the band by the name of Wilhelm Schroeder, Wilhelm, better known to many people. And another band that we will get to at some point is the frontman of Frontline Assembly, Bill Lee. Was one of the original members of Skinny Puppy, but he went off into his own thing for his own reasons. I'm missing a couple. There we go. How's that? I hope this is not getting me in trouble. But once Mr. Gotel joined the band, you found, I guess, the backbone, the true nerve center of this band. And now their sound became amazing beyond belief. Now this particular album has some of the, I think, the most beautiful compositions in it. You could sleep and have beautiful nightmares to this music, believe me, I have. I know I keep dropping this down, but I'm trying to hide the boobies. There's boobies on there. So I'm trying to keep this friendly and hide those. I don't know if it matters, it's a corpse. Or corpse boobies, that might be worse. Alright. So anyway, this particular album marks the beginning of what one may say is the true heyday beginnings, and of course would lead to the unfortunate endings, the best period of Skinny Puppy. Oh, there we go. See that? That was slick. No one will even notice that there were boobies on that screen. Alright, so now we're going to, pardon me, have a bit, excuse me. Let go of my drink. This is my gargoyle. He's taking care of my beverage for me. Does everyone know that on the top of the can, and everybody probably knows this by now, the little pull tabs on cans with a hole in there is to hold your straw. I have a metal straw, so it's a very irritating sound that it makes. But you are supposed to put the straw through the little hole in your little can there. If you didn't know that, now you do. Lovely. All right. Hold this for me, will you? Greg. All right, thank you. All right, Gary, thank you. This is Gary the Gargoyle. Thank you, Gary. That's a good boy. Where was I? Ah, yes. So now we have cleanse, fold, and manipulate. Now, I love the actual artwork for this. The face on there with the eyes. Everything flies, you know. And of course, is it Stephen Gilmore? Stephen R. Gilmore has designed the majority, I promise I can speak, the majority of their cover art over the years. And I think he just had the right eye for what their music was and what they, sort of things they did. So here you just have an amazing piece of cover art. Now, this is an awesome album. I will say, if you can go online, and obviously you can, perhaps if I have a link, I will provide something for you. If you can find concert footage of this era, I believe it was called Ain't It Dead Yet? Awesome beyond belief. Then you will see the stage theatrics that, I mean, they should be winning awards. They should be popular beyond belief because they are more than just musicians. They are artists, they're performers that are musicians. I can't even explain the amazing nature of what they can do, but I think at this point is when it was really, really coming to a head. Now, here's an interesting one. This particular one When I was younger, I couldn't, I feel a bit foolish now, but I could not exactly figure out what the name of the album was. Vivisect VI. I don't exactly know why they call it Vivisect VI. I'm not going to pretend that I have this vast knowledge. If anyone knows, please feel free to let me know. After all these years, I still don't really know. Vivisect VI. This is anti-animal abuse, and as you must know, one of the reasons Weeps loves Skinny Puppy is they are very strong animal activists. They are very, very strong animal activists. The name Skinny Puppy implies the concept of a malnourished dog. So these are people who truly believe in animal activism. This particular album is wonderful, but it has a specific song. All right, where is it? It's called Testure. Why am I looking for it? You can't see it, can you? But it has some wonderful X-ray pictures. That's nice. Testure, T-S-T-U-R-E. I will find a link if I can for you. And that particular one was made as a protest against animal cruelty in testing. Very bizarre, kind of entertaining, but when you get down to it, rather disturbing kind of video. The song itself is very disturbing. I believe that has the sound clips from an animated film called The Plague Dogs, originally a novel written by Richard Adams. He's also probably more known for the film, story in the film, Watership Down, about the rabbits. Very great story. Plague Dogs will screw with your head. If you watch that, find The Plague Dogs, screw with your head. If you leave that film not feeling churned up inside, sad, crying, wanting to go rescue every dog out there in the world, you are a heartless individual. Anyway, they sampled The Plague Dogs for this song, and it's something that has stuck with me all my life, the sound of it. And this particular song, Testure, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look up a bit more thoroughly. If anybody knows this one more in depth, please let me know. Actually hit Billboard dance charts. So this is unusual for them to get that sort of notice. It is an incredibly danceable song. I would love to see people on the dance floor now, dancing to Testure, not knowing what it's even about, and probably too drunk to care. But that's all right. They know, we know, and they made their message known. Now, I have no more record albums to share with you, so I'm just going to go on a little bit about what's next. The following album will be called Rabies. Rabies is an incredibly well-known album for one particular reason. It was produced by Al Jorgensen under the name Alien Jorgensen, who is of course the frontman of the band Ministry. Ministry, a very good band themselves, still around today. However, at that time, they were also kind of at their height, and he did some production for that particular album. Now, the song that is most prominent on that, I will have to say, was the actual first song of theirs I ever heard, and I was introduced to it through the video for it. This song is called Warlock, W-O-R-L-O-C-K, Warlock. There's not enough I can say about it. It contains many film clips from some well-known, some independent. It is, to me, the most perfect song in existence. I could listen to it every day, all the time, for the rest of my life. Then the video. I was very young when I first saw this. Very, very young. I probably should not have been seeing these sorts of things, but by that point in my life, I mean, I was already messed up. Didn't matter. But Warlock on the Rabies album, the whole album is awesome. But Warlock will always remain my favorite and my introduction. I saw this, I heard this music, and I thought, as a child, mind you, this is what it sounds like inside of my head. Might give you a few glimpses into my nature. At any rate, Warlock, off the Rabies album, quite excellent. We're going to skip over to the next album, and that next one is Too Dark Park. Now, Too Dark Park is probably known as, I think, one of their most favorite album amongst many fans, and undeniably so. Here you have something intense, powerful, danceable, dark, gritty, amazing. And the cover art for that, I will have to find some way to show you a picture or something. It's just hauntingly beautiful. Everything about this album, many would say, is the best that they offer. I will say that everything they offer is the best, probably, but I would have to argue they may be right about this, at least in different ways. You have to weigh things in different ways. But Too Dark Park, it's just kick-ass. It sort of reaches into your throat and pulls out everything inside of you. It reaches up to your neighbors who are walking in the ceiling, which is their floor, making noise when you're trying to record a video. And you say, oh yes, I have a song called Grave Wisdom. If you listen to the lyrics of that, I will tell my neighbors how I feel about that. See, we'd go up there and talk to them. She's napping. So, Too Dark Park. Awesome stuff. Now, the next album, Last Rites. Now, interestingly enough, this title would be almost accurate in a sense. The Last Rites album has an amazing song known as Killing Game on it. Absolutely beautiful and stunning piece. This album flows together beautifully. The songs all kind of flow together quite literally. If you get an American pressing of the CD, the actual pressing is off. So it starts in different places and numerous tracks run together. It's very strange. You want to get a foreign, Canadian if possible, European something pressing, or a newer one that has that corrected if you want to hear the songs in their entirety. Now here you have something that is more of a, if Too Dark Park was such a driving and amazing piece, here you have like the art piece that is stepping off the stage, and it hits every possible feeling you could have. I remember long ago, a friend, I gave them a mix of various songs, and not Too Dark Park, but Last Rites was on it, and they started playing it on Halloween night as the children came to the door, and their father said, "Oh good, you brought some Halloween music." I'll never forget that, because I thought, no, this is mine, this is my music, and the father said, "Yeah, that figures, doesn't it?" So, whatever. But it's that sort of thing. It's like a soundtrack or a score to the darkness of your heart. Now, I say Last Rites is an interesting name, and there are various reasons for that. Not to get into that right now, I'm not meant to be their biographer. But it almost was, and may have been in a certain sense, the last nature of the Skinny Puppy that was known to that point. Various things would plague the band for the next few years, and their coming album, The Process, would be delayed and delayed and delayed. Unfortunately, in that time, Dr. Gotel himself, would succumb to a drug overdose and pass away. Very tragic, and essentially I think they had other problems in the band. They've been together a long time. Very hard to work together with people for a long time. But I think that was the nail in the coffin. An amazing musician was gone. And that seemed to be the end of Skinny Puppy. The Process was released eventually. A lot of rushed production on that. It's actually a great album. And it has many unusual things you don't expect from Skinny Puppy at that time, but given all of their problems, I think they pulled it together quite beautifully. And it was literally at the end of the album, the very last noise sounds like the end. And now I was very young when I first discovered them. Not in their earlier days. I'm not that old, thank you. I'm actually quite young. Thank you very much. To find out that I just discovered this band and there would never be anything else sucked. I was devastated to realize I will never hear new Skinny Puppy music. They had offshoot projects that each member did, Nivik Ogre and Kevin Key, and I like that music. I like Download, Ogre's side projects, all the different things. But there was no more Skinny Puppy, and I felt that I had lost something, and only to have just found it at that moment. And I figured that was it, and then one day, the buzz was out there, and suddenly, a new album was coming. Now, to be fair, there are Skinny Puppy fans from the days of old, ones like myself from the later days, and perhaps new ones now that might say there is only one kind, and it's the pre-reuniting of Skinny Puppy. But they started to go in new directions. The Greater Wrong of the Right album came out. And I first heard it and I thought, alright, we're going somewhere. I liked it at first, and then there's some things I wasn't sure about. It's important to realize that we don't own musicians. We can love them, adore their music. We don't own them. We have no right to criticize what they do with their art form, their music. At the time I was unsure what I felt about it, and I sort of put it aside. I thought there's some good things here, but it's not the Skinny Puppy I know. As if we're all friends and they come around to hang out. And I was critical of it, and I regret that. Not because it hurt anybody, nobody cares, but I regretted that I went back later and listened to it and realized, there's a lot of great things here. And they themselves had said that no matter what the fans had said, you're not doing the same music. They were going forward and doing what they wanted. They were making their music, which is what they always did. I have gained a newfound respect for the greater Wrong of the Right, and all of the later releases, to be honest. I very much would urge you to start at the beginning and then move forward into the later albums and such. The last official release they had as a band was an album called Weapon, and this is a bit ironic, and I do wonder if it's the end for them, in that they found that they, amongst other bands, had their music used as a form of torture device at Guantanamo Bay prison. So imagine that your music is created and it's used to, torture people in some horrible way. I don't know if this is complimentary, not complimentary, but it was wrong. They sued the government in a class action suit, I believe, for, I think it was $666,666, mainly for the point that they had no right to take their music and use it in such a way. So they created an album called Weapon, and ironically they did it, as far as I understand, and again, if people have more info on this, please let me know, using old instruments and styles and equipment to sort of do music in a way that they used to do it, almost at the beginning. And when you listen to this album, I think, my God, we've come from here all the way back to here. We have similar now, but it's amazingly done. And I wonder if that means it might be the end for them. They both do their own side projects. They have some great works. Kevin Key, Nibigoga. I will do my best to provide with you every sort of links and whatnot for you to find out more for yourself. But I think you have, especially for those of you who really love the Gothic style, the industrial style, but even those of you who want to find something different. It's unusual. Take it in. Give it a chance. Discover. And for those of you who are fans, share your fandom with me. Tell me your favorite songs, your favorite albums. Share some, if you've seen them in concert, you're very lucky. Tell me about that. Share some details about Skinny Puppy, or tell me about your favorite types of bands. Maybe they're similar, maybe they're different. Maybe you have never even heard of them and you just want to know more. Drop me a line, do whatever you wish. The actual Skinny Puppy and I will be happy to hear from you. I think that's all for now regarding music. I know, oh gosh, she's such a difficult life. I'm so tired having to sit there all day. We're going to sign off for now. Thank you for listening to our little bit of talk about Skinny Puppy, the greatest, I think, band in the Gothic industrial avant-garde world. Nibigoga, Kevin Key, The Lake Hotel, and even Mr. Wilhelm Schrader, Mr. Bill Eve himself, who is awesome, and we'll get to that. Thank you all for your contribution to our lives, to music and to art, and to our nightmares. Until then, until next time, say goodbye. Say goodbye to the people. Goodbye, people. Give them a kiss. She's being pissy, I'm not getting a kiss. Alright, darling, you don't have to. I understand. Oh, thank you so much. There you go. Kisses galore. Good night, everybody. Good day, good evening, whichever it may be for you. BRAP on into Skinny Puppy style.